Good evening, and welcome to Channel 7 News. On tonight's program, we have a special segment about the use of plastics and how it affects marine life, as well as how we can help preserve our oceans. We have 3 correspondents out in the field, and they all have discussions and sobering facts about the use of plastic in our world. First up is Addy, who will be telling us about the immense use of styrofoam in the food industry. Addy, tell us more about this.
Thank you, Margaux. I'm here at a park where many families are here to enjoy a picnic. Many of them are using cups and plates made out of a type of plastic called styrofoam, which can also be used for protecting objects while shipping. It will eventually find its way into the ocean. According to Sciencing, a website focused on many different aspects of science, it can take more than 500 years for styrofoam to decompose, so we can't do much about it. Styrofoam is also not a material that can be recycled. Besides hurting and affecting the habitat of animals in the ocean, when producing styrofoam, or as it can also be called polystyrene foam, it also produces a pollutant that is released into the air. Styrofoam is not something that can be recycled, but paper can. To help reduce the amount of styrofoam that makes its way into the ocean, we can use paper plates at picnics and other areas, and remember to recycle them instead of throwing them in the trash. Back to you, Margaux.
Thanks, Addy. Like she said, paper is the way to go. Now we are going to go to Caitlyn, who will be telling us about the extensive use of plastic bottles and how the earth around landfills can affect the wildlife. And now to you, Caitlyn.
Plastic bottles are like ticking time bombs for the environment. According to the CRI, Container Recycling Institute, around 60 million plastic bottles end up in landfills each year. Water eventually decomposes these plastic water bottles, but the man-made chemicals in them seep into the ground along with the rainwater. These harmful chemicals are known to lead to several different health conditions and even different kinds of cancer. Animals who scavenge in these landfills are even more at risk. They get their food and water from these places. Most of these animals are mammals and rodents. However, other small animals, such as birds, hang out and even create their nests on top of these trash heaps and feed human trash to their young. Landfills can be a type of ecosystem. The only problem is it harms the plants and animals living in it. According to Healthy Human, the type of plastic found in plastic water bottles can take up to 1,000 years to finish decomposing. Just think of how many harmful chemicals could have been released in that amount of time. According to BOSC by Lark, around 480 billion plastic water bottles are currently in the process of doing just that right now. And it's not just in landfills. I have often seen plastic bottles in the gutter or floating down streams. These are the plastic water bottles that have been carelessly dropped on the ground and are being washed all around town by rainwater, leaving dangerous chemicals behind. This isn't just happening in my town. This is happening all over the world. Some ways you can reduce the amount of plastic water bottles that end up in landfills are to reuse plastic water bottles or even to use the same plastic water bottle over and over again. This way, you can reduce the amount of plastic water bottles that end up in landfills. Another way, if you can, is to recycle the plastic water bottles you use. Not all plastic water bottles can be recycled either because they're not made of the right plastic or your recycling center can't process them. However, if you can switch to either of these methods of disposing or not using plastic water bottles at all, you'd be helping to prevent the pollution of Earth and poisoning of animals. Remember, you can make a difference. Back to you, Margaux.
Wow, that really is shocking how plastic can endanger local wildlife and the nature around us. Like she said, using reusable water bottle is efficient and easy. Now on to Georgia, who's going scuba diving in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
Thanks, Margaux. I've been doing a little bit of scuba diving around the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, and I've seen lots of plastic. The world makes around 300 million tons of plastic a year, according to the Plastic Oceans, which is an international nonprofit organization raising awareness. Researchers have been scanning the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and found that the vast dump of the plastic in the ocean is bigger than France, Germany, and Spain combined, according to Lorraine LeBreton, lead author of the study and member of the Ocean Cleanup Project. Back to you, Margaux.
Wow, do you have any tips?
Absolutely, yeah. A few tips on helping reduce plastic while at home is stop using plastic straws, use a reusable produce bag, and buy boxes instead of bottles.
Thank you, Georgia. I hope you all enjoyed tonight's segment and learned something new. We also hope you will reconsider some habits you have and try to form new ones. A few great examples of this include replacing plastic straws with metal straws, using a refillable water bottle every day, and using paper instead of styrofoam and plastic utensils. Thank you for tuning in, folks, and have a good night.